Take it.
Microphone check 1, 2, 1, 2.
My style is impetuous, my defense is impregnable, and I'm just ferocious. I want your heart, I want to eat your children.
I'm supposed to be a franchise player, and we're in here talking about practice.
This is what's great about sports. This is what the greatest thing about sports is. You play to win the game. Hello?
The Off the Strip Sports Podcast. Yo.
What's up, game time, baby?
Yo, what's good, brother?
Man, I'm good. I'm good. Happy to be here another week. Happy to see you. We got some stuff to talk about. How you feeling?
Hey, man, I feel good, man. Yo, first and foremost, happy Sunday, everyone. Thank you for everybody that's there, that's out there listening, watching it. Watching right now live on whether you're on Facebook or YouTube. Appreciate you pulling up. Strong support, man. Just really happy, man. We had a great turnout last week. That BW episode was super solid, man. Just to have somebody, professionally, doing something that they love and to have a personal relationship was like super dope, man. So
Super dope. B-Dub definitely show love, bro. But y'all out there watching this, please comment. We don't see the comments now. We'll address it next episode, next Sunday, same time, same place. But we here to talk, so y'all can talk y'all shit too from where y'all at. Just leave a comment or something, and we here for it.
yeah, man, for sure, man. Love is love, man. But
Love
yeah,
is love.
we got a lot to get into today, man. It's been oh shoot, I got my live. I'm tripping.
Y'all can talk y'all shit too.
That's me. That's
That's
me.
you,
I
my
hear
bad.
me.
I'm going live on my own phone and whatnot. But yeah, man, we got a nice little show going on today, man. What's going on today, man?
So we got us a special co-host. My sister pulling up. She played basketball at Virginia State. She got her own little business. I'll let her tell you all about that herself. But we happy to have her. She from the crib, like, it's nothing but love, and we bringing people to this platform so we can talk about it. She gonna give you a female perspective on the sports topics we got. Then we're gonna talk about a little bit of entrepreneurship, and that's what we're gonna do. So without further ado, let's welcome Alison, co-host to the show. Ali!
Thank you for having me.
Hey, yo, welcome. Appreciate you coming on, Allison. How are you today?
I'm good. How are y'all?
Pretty good. Another
Good.
Sunday.
Thanks for asking.
Yo, I don't know about you, Allison, but like you get that feeling when it's like game day, you get this like different rush. That's how the podcast feel for for when me and Fush get on. Like literally when I was like, all right, we'll be right back. Fush was like game time, and I was like game time.
We did our dap and shit.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
it's
see,
that
Fudge is all
type
that extra. Fudge is all that extra. I'm more like game time, serious. Gotta get your business.
That's you.
So real quick, so you the type of athlete, like, do you got to be focused before the game, or you could like be whatever, or you like cracking jokes? Like, what type of athlete are you?
Just don't talk to me.
Don't you one of them?
Just go over there.
Kobe.
Okay. Hey, Cal, what type of athlete are you?
I'm kind of a little bit of everything, man. Like it's really between the music and just being fun, and just being loose about it. Like I think that's kind of my energy. But sometimes you gotta lock in and be like, yo, I've been watching film all week. We strap this nigga down like BW said.
Real quick.
You know what I'm saying? Like so sometimes you gotta tap in. So it's a little bit of everything for sure.
So mine's different than both of y'all. Where I could be chilling with my feet up, like texting, playing the music. Like what I cannot do is get that don't talk to me serious shit. Like that's how I throw myself off. So I'm in that shit chilling, just like what up, what you doing, whatever. And then when you get in between them lines, hit the switch, like it's night and day. Boom.
Yeah.
I'm in your mouth. But then,
Somebody doing laundry?
come on, boy, it's Sunday. Can I be clean, bro?
I
You
didn't
know
know if
what?
you had to go
Anyway,
get the whites or not. My fault. My bad. My
anyway, Allison, we here. Tell the viewers about yourself. Tell her how you, well, your sports and your background a little bit, so they can understand where you at, and we're gonna dive into these topics.
Yeah, I got you. I got you. So I went to VSU, graduated 2017, grad
Okay.
program sports management. I played basketball. I actually didn't play basketball in undergrad. I went to VCU. So I was a
Okay.
Ram first, went all 4 years, didn't play not a quarter of basketball. And somebody told me, like, you couldn't get back into it. I'm like, okay. As soon as somebody tells me I can't do something,
Oh
it's
yeah.
over. So I met up with the coach at VSU, got into that, played a year of school, finished the grad program there, and then, I'm out and about, full-time career, started a business, and I will get into that later. But that's kind of just a quick background.
Got it. That's interesting. You ain't played not your undergrad at all. Grad was like,
People say, like, I'm out of shape now, and I'm like, y'all do not know what out of shape is. I was running sprints the first day, and I'm like, I'm going to pass out. Like, I really am going to pass out. So,
Did you play in high school?
I did. I played in high school. And then, I got into some trouble between 17, 18, and 19. So had to calm myself down, refocus for a couple years, and then, got it back together in grad school.
Got you. I
got
got
it.
you. I got
Yeah,
you.
we
So
have
that's
each
crazy.
other
Yeah,
back.
that's resilience to like be hooping in high school. Not play 4 years and be
4
like,
years
all
and
right.
come back.
That's on some Mike Jordan type time like that, and that's when I took it personal. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, we back. So,
Don't ask me about stats or anything, because grad school stats, I think I averaged like a point a game or something. Like, it was
hey,
rough.
you was
Like,
in the book.
Hey, you was in the mix. Bro, I posted you like for advertisement. They hitting my phone like she beautiful. I'm like, bro, like y'all gonna tune in or
or
like
not.
what's up?
Like, what?
Yeah. Oh, Calvin the lefty, and he noticed that about you
Right,
too.
right. First thing I saw, I was like, "Oh, we getting buckets out here." I already know.
She a lefty.
Lefty gets the money. That's all it is, yo. Lefty get the money, man.
Yeah.
For sure. That's what's up, though. So yeah, that's resilience, man, to be able to come in and shake back like that. Like, so we solid on that.
That's super dope.
Yo, keeping it with the basketball situation. So, season getting ready to come to an end. We getting ready to get into the playoffs. About 2 or 3 games left, depending on what team it is. And they recently just announced the MVPs. So y'all been keeping up with the bubble games at all?
I've been watching a little bit. I be tuning in when I can. They be on at like wild times or whatever.
Yo, wild times.
Like I didn't know the game was at like 1 o'clock. I'm like, yo, like, what y'all doing? And like that's the game I wanted to watch. But I be watching, tuning in. Some games be good. Like most of them be good.
Yeah, nah, I feel you. What you got, Alison? You been catching the games?
Yeah, a little bit. It's hard for me because I know that, it's kind of a forced atmosphere. So it's one of those things where I'm seeing the fans on the big screen. I'm like, all right, man, like, come on now. We all at home. Like,
Right.
it is.
Yeah, no, it's definitely some it's definitely a bit weird to watch the basketball in the bubble. I think you're right. It's been like a little mix of both, like some good games, some alright games.
But
Well,
the
no,
bubble though, the bubble. When I watch it on TV, the announcers be live. Like they make it sound like people there. I be forgetting kind of that ain't nobody there because what they're actually putting all the work into making it a realistic type environment. But I did see a quote from LeBron. I think it was today. He was like, "It's weird. I don't know he said he didn't know last time he played and no fans was in the stands. I felt like that was like he was being slick, like because he bring everybody out. Like the
Right.
stands is full to just your team, they team, and a couple like 20 spectators. And he like I ain't played with no fans in a long time because he LeBron. But that got to be different to be hooping. Imagine Ali, you hit a 3, tie the game up. Only person hype is like your coach.
Right, but you know what? Sometimes like those scrimmages in practice, like deciding who's about to start, or
Mm-hmm.
right, and there's nobody else. It's just y'all. Sometimes that's like the most intense.
That'd be some real basketball.
Yeah.
That's some real rap right there. 2 minutes left for like one possession type time.
Mm-hmm.
You got to get 3 passes or whatever and get a bucket. Like,
Hey,
it'd be some real.
When you put it that way, like when they get together, like off season, they just be in the gym. It be 5 on 5, and they be in the gym. They be intense. But now, like everything on the line, so they probably got the same mentality. Like ain't nobody here, but I'm going smack at you trying to win this ship. So I
Right.
mean, it's something to think about when you put it
Yeah,
that way.
nah, for sure, yo. So they announced the MVPs. I think it was what Giannis, Bron, and was it Harden? Maybe.
Yeah.
Who y'all got?
J.R. Smith.
Yo, you know what? I had this. Look at this. I had this posted too. Hold on. Let me show this. This is what I wanted to show. There you go. Oh no, Joe. There you go. Because I knew
J.R.
he was
Smith.
about to be on that type of time, man. But J.R. Smith had actually been pretty quiet for my man. Real talk.
Clutch one out.
My man Wi-Fi kind of crazy. But nah, yeah, you know, he a huge J.R. Smith fan, but it's been super quiet for him. But between Bron, Giannis, and what's my man name? Harden, who have you what you think between the three?
All right, I'm gonna get back to your question, but let me just say this.
All right, yeah, for sure.
I struggle with the lack of love that Luka gets. Because if
Okay.
Luka's team was better, this whole conversation
No,
is a different conversation.
completely different one.
Crazy numbers. I think because of his age, he's so young, and you know he didn't do the college route or any of that. But like, I just the fact that we continuously leave him out of the conversation. I know he came in like six, maybe six in terms of votes, but I don't know, man. I feel like we should be pushing that bubble. But I'm gonna get back to the question. I just had to, you know.
No, for sure. No, Luka, that's worth it.
I just every time I watch him play, I'm like, this nigga is nice. Like,
Yeah.
it's
No,
crazy.
he I don't know if he saw the game last night, but I think he went for like 32, 12, and 16. He's actually in the runnings for most improved player, which I think is low key disrespectful because
So disrespectful.
man's been nice in my
His numbers
opinion.
last year were crazy. Like,
Bro, he was wilding.
crazy.
You know what I'm saying? And like now he really just he got it like what he did last night just looked like that just looked easy.
It
You know
is
what I'm
so
saying? Like,
easy.
he did a squad and I'm with you. Like he's a problem for sure.
But if we're talking about just the top three, Braun, Giannis, and Harden, I'm gonna have to go with Giannis. Just because at the end of the day, whoever is carrying their team and they're the best team, like it is what it is.
Yeah.
And he's consistent and just and he's I don't know, physically crazy. So
Yeah, nah, he's hard to guard for sure.
who do y'all have?
Yeah, for sure.
Who do
What you
y'all
got?
I'm taking just because I love defense. I'm taking Harden out just because he don't. But like what he does on the offensive side is just so amazing. Like I understand Harden. Like you can put up 52, but you don't play no defense. If you just put up 40 and play a little bit of defense, we winning by 25 every time. Just
Right.
it's a different dynamic of the game. But and Giannis and LeBron, like you said, Giannis he's running the team or whatever, but LeBron he just does so much all over. When you get consistent triple doubles, I like the stats of points. That ain't like when I look at a play, I'm not looking at points. That's not even the last thing I look at. That's kind of like I like Pat Bev, not for the, but what I'm saying is I like the way he play defense. Like he don't score no points, but his defense is such at a high level. I really like that about him. So LeBron, he does it all. He passed. So he averaging what 10 assists. So that's 20 at least points off of the assists. He getting rebounds, not letting him get second chance points, and he getting like 22, 25. I like it. He does it every year. He's just like a freak. Giannis, I like him too, but I'm going with LeBron. I just like LeBron's overall. I like his overall game, and he play defense. They're them stats that don't go in the stat book, like fighting through the screen, standing in somebody's face. He did it like maybe Monday or Tuesday. He was on Kawhi. Like when he strap up. Them stats don't go on the stat book, but that's the shit that I like the most. So I'm going with LeBron, just off of that.
Off GP, nah, I'm rolling. I think, but if I kind of what Allison was saying. We don't give Luka enough respect. One, I don't think the list is 100% accurate. I feel like some people belong on it, some other people that belong on it too. But if I had to choose between three, I'm rolling with Bron too because what he's doing in the year that he's in and the time that he's doing it in, you know, it's just he looked like this is year 2 or 3 for him. Real talk. So
Okay, then I have a question for y'all.
Okay.
If this was year 2 or 3, would you be saying the same thing? Because my thing is, okay, yes, it's impressive because he is in year whatever he's in, but
Yeah.
are y'all giving him brownie points just because he's older?
Not just because he's older, but he's older and still effective. Like the normal trajectory is like the older you get, you normally like you'll go. It's like this, boom, and then you know what I'm saying. You kind of not necessarily wash yourself out, but you kind of wash yourself out, in my opinion. But I think that like he's been like here and kind of maybe even hit this number randomly. So
Yeah.
I think that's where the respect is coming from, in my opinion. And I'm by no means a LeBron fan, so whoever's watching this and thinking I'm a LeBron fan, wilding, I just respect basketball and like my man's is nice. Point blank period. So
We talking about LeBron, right?
yeah, we talking about LeBron.
Yeah, he's steady. He does it year after year after year. Like it was like 2 years ago. They was like we can't keep giving it to LeBron every year. He deserves it. So him playing at that level is now the norm. You got to play at that level and exceed that level to be considered MVP because he's just because he's just that good. So what's the comments? I got one from Melissa saying Devin Booker. I
Yes,
think
that's what
that's
we were talking about when we first started. She was saying that Allison was brought up Luca, Melissa brought up Devin.
so yeah.
Um,
Devin's a solid like Melissa. I feel you on that. That's all I got for you because
they
they ain't
they
put his
got to
name
win
on.
more. Yeah,
Yeah,
they just
when
got to
you
win more, man.
that's what Allison said. Like you winning, that's what make or break. Like you be really
Yeah,
good on the losing team. It's hard to give you any brownie points.
yeah, it's hard to do that for sure, for sure.
J.R.
But yeah,
Smith, Ronald know what's
I
up.
said, yeah.
Ron know what's
Nah,
up.
Ron on that. He on that oil, yo. That's what he on, yo.
Hey, Ali, who your favorite player?
Kevin Durant.
KD.
Okay.
Okay.
How'd you end up being a KD fan?
So we're from the same area, and so
Okay.
he's a couple years older than me. So I'm always, in 8th grade going to his games in high school and so
Oh,
on.
got you. Oh, so you kind of from this area then?
Yep. Right up
I
here.
got you. I got you.
Not that far.
Um,
We don't
okay,
have
no.
that far, but
I lived here when I was a kid myself. I went to Archbishop Carroll for a year
oh,
in DC. Yeah, I went there for a little bit.
I graduated from Flint Hill. I don't know if you know what that is.
Flint Hill. Nah, I've never heard of that one.
It's
Yeah, I
it's,
might have moved.
it's in Northern Virginia. But
Okay.
I went to a couple different high schools. We talked about me getting in trouble a little bit, so got moved around.
You a bad girl?
But come on
All
now.
right, my bad. This ain't my fault. Where we at?
Right.
Nice. Where we at with it? So we was talking MVPs. Oh, rookie of the year. So we ain't gonna go through all of them, but rookie of the year I think is a good one too because you got Ja Morant who's been wilding. Zion, like it's hard to like put Zion in it just because he
showed up half.
the way they
half
playing
the
him.
season.
The way they playing him is kind of crazy, and he showed up halfway through the season.
But
the
before the COVID though, he was putting up solid numbers like
yeah, he was
every game.
But then he was
Every
wild.
game.
Yeah, no, that's a fact. But the
So,
it's what happened? Go
Question:
ahead.
do you have to? This for you too, Allison. Do you feel like you have to play a certain amount of games to be considered in some of these?
I think it's considered.
No, but I'm saying like, how do you feel, like personally?
I feel like it's a mix. It depends on what the situation is. So right now they're playing him like 5-5-5, right? Like 5 minutes in, 5 minutes out, some craziness like that.
Something like that, yeah.
But I don't know how much of that is him, how much of that is them, how much of that is them together talking about what the situation is. So it's like if he's choosing, oh yeah, save me, then that's one thing. Versus if he really is like not putting in and they're just holding him, you can't fault him for that. So I don't really know. I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, man. It kind of goes with like what BW was saying like last week with like the politics and the business of it. Like I'm a couple level where Allison just said like you don't know if it's Zion, if it's the coach, if it's Zion, the coach, and the team. Because at the end of the day, like the team might be thinking like long term, like nah, we gonna manage this like accordingly, or you may be like nah, turn the brakes loose and like let him wild out. And then like their investment goes down the drain. Like teams really be thinking like that, like as property. You know what I'm saying? Like as machinery kind of feels like in a way. But yeah, like you don't know. Like it's all those. It's not just Zion. Like nah, I don't feel good enough to play the whole game. you would like to think it's just that. That's how it is in high school, maybe college. But when you getting paid millions of dollars, it's like, nah, hold on. Before you go out there, let's think this through. So, and that's the part that I think sucks about NBA or the business of basketball. Real talk.
The business of any sport, like you said, it ain't fun. It ain't fun no more.
Yeah. That fun part is just kind of crazy. I feel like Hov and Diddy can make it fun though. Start their own league.
You play?
Yeah. I'm gonna get a little 10-day, little 2-way type situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna put on like J. Cole. All J. Cole had to do was be a rapper. I'm gonna just continue to do the podcast.
Absolutely. Like put him on a team and don't play him, and people gonna buy jerseys. People gonna come to the game just off the strength. Like there you go, the business shit. Like we gonna try him out. Like you want him or not? Like stop playing with us.
Yeah. So the rookie of the years you got Ja Morant, Zion, and the point guard in Miami, Kendrick Dunn. Like which I feel like I think he been hooping, but like if you don't watch basketball, then you don't really see Kendrick Dunn. But you hear Ja and Zion a whole lot more. My vote is Ja just because like Memphis might just be in the playoffs off the strength of Ja.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's my call. What y'all think?
I got Ja just because he started day one. I like Zion a lot too, but he missed a couple of the season. I feel like if he'd have started the season, he would have put up stupid numbers. But he got hurt. He got time. I'm going with Ja off the strength. He's been there.
Word. Sound like you got Ja too, Alex.
Yeah, same. I don't have anything else.
It's easy at this point.
Yeah. So.
Six man,
lemon pepper Lou.
Bro, it will only be wise as a business move to make Lou Wings the 6th man. Like he got a new name now, Lou Wings. He's known for going to get wings during the bubble, whatever. To make him 6th man of the year, give him a trophy, let people know about him. Bro, the NBA gonna influx their money like a good 2% just by making him 6th man of the year. Like, he's a 6th man, but he's also the guy that went and got wings, got suspended for 10 days. Like, bro, I'm going Lou Wings because he don't care and he got wings, and he is a great athlete at that and a great basketball player. Lou Wings because he left. Just because he left. It just makes sense, Lou Wings.
What you think of that, Allison? Was that selfish of Lou?
I mean,
as a teammate?
You know what? I can't really speak on that. The
man was hungry.
The man was hungry. I don't know what to say. Like, I really don't. I think it is selfish, but I also think that he had already left the bubble for other things. He was already going to have to quarantine. Like, it is what it is.
It just makes sense to go get the wings too. Like when you put it that
way,
I got to do it anyway. He just got caught. Like he probably went to the gas station. He probably went to the liquor store. He didn't get caught there. He just got caught getting wings.
Exactly. There you go.
Allie, you know.
So, but I also think he's 6 man of the year just because he is effective every time.
He's a bucket off the bench. Yo.
So like and consistent. I just, aside from the fact that he, went to get wings, I do think that he is 6 man of the year.
So when they take out the starters and be like, all right, go get him, and then Lou come in, it's like, he a starter at 31. The other NBA teams, he just riding the bench, probably on purpose. But you take him out like, all right, somebody else coming in, like, let me just try to. Nah, ain't no breaks. Like he might be better than Pat Bev, but on the offensive side, they take out Pat Bev and put in Lou. You in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Like the game didn't get easier at all.
You right about that one, man. Where we at with it? So we gonna slide over. Yo, speaking of Pat Bev, it got a little spicy on the airwaves, on the Twitter waves yesterday.
Right, that goes on the radio.
Yeah, they was talking spicy, and I like Dame, man. Like, yeah, Dame my man's for this, but there's a little backstory if you probably don't know already. So the Clippers and the Trailblazers played yesterday, and I think Dame missed 2 free throws down the stretch, pretty much lost them the game. And Pat Bev was over there clowning, like he's a heavy contributor to the wins. And then they took it to Twitter and started wilding out, And Dame was like, "Yo, I sent you home.
Yeah.
So I'm with it. So like, what's up?" So How you feel about that, Allison? What was going on when you saw that? Like, how spicy was that?
At the end of the day, you cannot clap and not expect to get clapped back. Like it just is what it is.
Okay.
So I don't have an issue with it. Like
Yeah.
it is what it is, and at the end of the day, he did send all of them home.
So his response was like, y'all laughing, but I sent both of y'all home. And then PG was like, well, you're going home this time. Like, was that a good clapback from PG, or like Dame made a response and he was saying, I feel as though they was doing that because they know what I'm capable of doing. Because it didn't happen this time, like they're happy, but I took it as a sign of respect. How do you feel about that's it?
I mean, it is what it is, but I also think that you cannot throw stones in a glass house. Like I'm looking at PG any type of ring. Like where are they? So I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. It is
Yo, I feel like they both took L's individually the same way. He sent Houston home off a buzzer beater, off an inbound joint. He sent
OKC.
OKC home off some like, nah, we good out here. Like on some like right after half court, rocking by a baby type time, and like, nah, good night. You know what I'm saying? So like he sent them both home on some like on some with a statement. So like now they both on the same team. I don't think either one of them got the room to talk because both y'all took L's separately. So 2 L's to me, might bring you back to zero.
It's a lot of L's.
Zero, if anything.
Right.
So I think, Dame just got hit with some bad luck coming out of the West, yo. Like he got hit with Golden State, I want to say 2 years in a row. Like he got past Houston, but he always just got punched in the mouth by Golden State, and like that's just what it was. But I think they got a mellow now. Like, that's my thing.
They got
a mellow. Not mellow. They got a mellow, like on some Hulk shit. But
I like the energy because Pat Bev is not a scorer, but the energy he brings to any squad, like the stats that don't go in the stat book. So he on the side trolling Dame, like he weak. I watched the video, he falling all over the jump, bro.
Yeah, he out here wilding.
I'm like, yo, but I'm watching it and I'm getting so excited, like, yo, look at Pat Bev. But that's what Pat Bev brings to the team when he's playing or not playing. So he's doing that, not playing. That's his job. Like he know his job and he's doing his job. As far as like talking big game, I mean, he a grown man. He gonna talk, but does Pat Bev do enough in the game to really feel like you on the A level of Dame to be in his face talking the way you talking? I don't know. And I love Pat Bev defense, but Pat Bev is like a great B+ player.
My bad.
Pat Bev's a great B+ player, and Dame is definitely like a level player. You get what I'm saying? So do Pat Bev have the room to talk? Like, should he even be engaging himself in that conversation? Is what I'm asking. I love it. I would love a Pat Bev on my team any day of the week. I would love a J.R. Smith on my team any day of the week. I got it to my man J.R. But do you think Pat Bev is at the level that he can feel as though he can say anything to Dame? Is what I'm asking.
Nope. Never will be. Got
so
some.
He
This
need to sit down.
Yeah.
But I feel like if you can elicit a response, that's exactly what he wants. So it doesn't matter whether he's at a C level, a D level, a B+, a A, whatever. Like if he's eliciting a response, he can say what he wants because that's what he wants.
Pat doing his job.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
Speaking of people saying what they want and fudge, this is what I'm talking about by segue. This is perfect. Listen.
Okay. Ooh, go ahead.
Speaking of people saying what they want, we're gonna switch over to the WNBA with the Atlanta Dream co-owner saying what she want about the Black Lives Matter situation. You see that segment, yo?
I see you, bro. We was talking about it.
Tween.
Ooh, sham, mac and cheese.
That's it. Easy. Anyway, so Atlanta Dream co-owner Kelly, this is actually, I made this banner for her because I can't even pronounce her last name. But Kelly, I want to say her name like Kelly Loeffler or something like that. She's a congresswoman in Atlanta. She's also co-owner of the Atlanta Dream. And so she had made a statement saying that, the Black Lives Matter is kind of like, we going a little too hard with it pretty much, within the WNBA. And we think y'all should chill, put an American flag on the jerseys just to, you know what I'm saying, kind of like weather the storm a little bit, you know what I'm saying? And so like as a result, the WNBA players like, oh, okay, who going against you? All right, that's who we running with. So
Facts.
everybody started supporting the Congresswoman's opponent. And so, you know, she was saw Disney after the fact. And, you know, I think it just speaks to the WNBA and how powerful their voice is and how much they like, look, this is what we about. And I think like with that happening and having you on, Allison, I think it was just like a perfect topic, you know, to get your opinion on like, you know, just being a female hooper or a lady hooper. And, you know, just having a voice. So, you know, like what was your thoughts on that?
So, you know, I have a lot of thoughts on this. I could talk for like 3 hours, so I'm going to keep it short. But what I will say is, number one, the WNBA has been doing this. Like before this was the trend, before this was a fad, the WNBA, the players, the coaches have been, for the most part, the owners have been using their platforms for social justice narratives, regardless, period. Point blank, no matter what type of money they were or were not making, they're out here. So I think that now that it's like, you know, center stage, not only in the WNBA, but in all sports, I think that, how do I say this lightly? Owners are, they're feeling threatened that their pockets are about to be hit. And that's what it is. That's what I really think that it comes down to, because she could care less. Yeah, she could care less whether or not there's an American flag or Breonna Taylor on the back of the jersey. She just wants to make sure that her seat in Congress is secure and that her money is still flowing right into her pocket. So, like, I don't think she actually cares. I'm curious to see how do y'all feel about this situation? Do you all watch the WNBA? Like, what's, and be honest.
I think
you don't know who you're talking to right here. I am the WNBA. I love the WNBA. Go ahead, Fudge. I'm gonna let you rock.
I'm gonna let you. So, back to like beginning is people saying what they want, and I feel as though this one backfired in this way. But just think about the people out there that's like, oh, I support what she's saying. It's kind of like she might have touched enough people to be like, okay, and still keep her seat, or she might have said what she thought was going to be okay, and it backfired to the level that we going to vote. I think it's Warnock. Warnock, is it? Vote where Warnock is who the WNBA is now. Put the shirts on and vote against her. But it's like she's saying what she want, and of course when she said it and she went over with her team or whatever, it was something effective to do or to say, like, this is going to put us here. It may backfire, but for some reason she thought the shit was okay, which is not. Like, we gonna get into that too about the whole Black Lives Matter, but at this point, I think it's fucked up, just to say the least. Like, girl, what you doing? Like, we out here hurting. We have to have these conversations because people like you saying what you want to say and kind of don't understand where we coming from, and that's the problem. We just want you to understand. Then you wouldn't make the statements you're making. But right. Just like we're having a conversation now, I'm sure somebody else is having it. It's a march for equality that's going to happen at the end of the month. They did this 53 years ago, and we still doing the same thing because we still haven't got them to understand what we are going through or what we are talking about. So I say, for Shorty.
Tell her why you mad, man. Tell her why you mad, son.
Shorty.
But nah, Allison, to answer your question, like, no, we absolutely adore the WNBA. Like, when we first got to Vegas is when the Vegas Aces just were born. Like, they just came from San Antonio and they moved to Vegas.
Got you.
So, we started the podcast literally that same summer. So, you know, we was on the floor for their first season. You know, we was there. We was one of the media folks. So, you know, that kind of showed my appreciation for the WNBA. I watched it growing up because I actually lived in this area and I supported the Mystics. I actually had a pair of Cheryl Swoops when I was going to Carroll.
Okay.
So, I was always a fan of the WNBA, and I was saying this last week, like, you know, like it's some solid basketball over there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I haven't seen anything like what some of the folks that I hear, like, nah, I'm not watching women's basketball, this, that, and the third. I'm like, you missing out. You know what I'm saying? And like, I've heard folks that agree with what I'm saying. So I love the WNBA. And like, when I heard that, I was like, yo, I know how they're going to act. I know how they're going to give it up, just because, like, when we was in the locker room with Asia Wilson and them, and like, we got to meet them, like, they was, you know, real people, you know.
Word.
Asia, she gonna speak her mind. You know what I'm saying? That's like one of the realest things about her, and I think that's why Nike loves her, why the WNBA loves her. Like she's she's the kind of like the face of the WNBA. So I think that yeah, she like I totally agree with what the WNBA is doing behind it, and I'm all for it for sure. Let me see. Speaking of the Aces, they actually I got a comment from
They
let's hit one up. They just did some wildness. Do you keep up with the WNBA, Allison?
Yeah, I do.
But do you have a favorite team at all?
Not really. I mean, I grew up watching the Mystics the same way that
Word.
that you did, just because I was in the area. But it's also a little bit different, just because in the AAU circuit for women, it's a lot smaller because at least 10 years ago when I was playing AAU, there weren't as many girls AAU teams, so the good
Okay.
all playing each other. So I remember vividly. Let me tell you, we're in North Carolina and we're playing Brianna Stewart's team. She put up like 60 on us. 60.
Damn.
herself, like
Yeah, like herself.
60?
60.
Right, please.
Go ahead. Just go ahead. But yeah, so like a lot of the girls or the women in the WNBA now are people that we played against growing up. So
That's tough, man. That's solid.
yeah,
It's a small circle on that side. So that makes sense.
for sure.
Yeah, man. Nah, I was 60 is kind of crazy.
niggas playing defense.
Yo, like she must have been like on some. Anyway, we're not gonna get into it. We're not gonna relive that night, man. We like, yo. I remember when man's, but yeah, we're not gonna do that. Yo, Fudge.
All right, 60
All right.
though, bro.
Yo. So one thing that jumped out at me when you brought it up was that like you're a huge MLS fan. So like being a hooper, like I mean, I played soccer in high school, but like basketball is my love. I know, like how did the love for the MLS come about? With
So I actually am much better at soccer than I ever was at basketball.
oh, okay.
And I think that I ended up picking basketball just because the hype. I went to a predominantly Black high school, and so the hype was around basketball. And I'm loving that the hype is switching, or at least shifting, or spreading to soccer a little bit now. But in the United States, just to begin with, it's basketball, football, and baseball. But yeah, so I was always better. I started playing soccer, and my dad was. Do y'all watch the MLS at all? Familiar with?
I'm not very familiar.
Okay, so the MLS has fan clubs, and they are devoted. Like, I mean, devoted. Every game, tailgate, everything. So growing up, my dad was the TV, like he hosted a pregame show for the DC United team, the MLS team, and so that's kind of where that like love for the game started, and then it just kind of continued from there. So.
Okay. So how's it been going with COVID? Like I feel like I first started seeing them, start up before anybody else. I think like they might have been trending on Twitter. I guess it was like a big Adidas sign on the soccer field or something like that. Maybe I might be getting my sports mixed up, but I don't know. But how has it been? How's the like intensity been? I guess when it comes to the MLS and with COVID going on.
From a viewer watching, TV, it's pretty much the same because in the MLS you don't really see the fans; they're not like right there like in basketball.
Yeah.
So it's been pretty much the same experience as a fan watching from home. I think, and don't quote me on this, but I think that the COVID numbers have been way lower in the MLS than any other sport. But I think that's probably because you're not using your hands, so you're using your feet. You're not passing a ball or whatever the case may be. So that I think is
That's a valid observation, though.
Yeah, that could definitely be part of the situation for sure. Like facts. I just like between the sports, like speaking of COVID and the I guess the transmission of it all. Like, do you watch NFL? Are you an NFL fan?
Mm-hmm.
Favorite team.
Cowboys.
Oh yeah.
And you know what? This is the podcast. My name is Cal. Allison has been great.
He a Giants fan.
You're a
Yeah,
Giants fan.
yeah,
Yeah, we have
exactly. She like you a Giants fan, bro. Like out
yeah.
of all the teams you can pick, out
Yeah,
of all the teams in the NFL, you a Giants fan, bro.
yeah. Yeah, no, for sure. So I mean, with do you see that happening with with COVID and just whatever
Wow.
you're doing with it?
I just feel like, so definitely the bubble is not happening, because how are you going to
You
60,
can't.
70, 80 players? How is that happening? That's not happening. And then it's just a whole different situation, I feel like. I don't know. What do y'all think? What do y'all think is going to happen?
I
What
just
you
wanted
mean?
to happen. I just want them to play. I don't
I
care how they
mean,
do
yeah.
it at
I
this
really,
point.
yeah. I want to see some football, but like seeing, like talking to BW last week, obviously, like it ain't worth putting nobody's life at risk whatsoever. And to confirm what he said last week, like, yo, if you do opt out to not play, you get like either 250K or 300, whichever stipend you get. I guess it depends on your caliber, the caliber player, maybe. I don't know. But if you choose to opt out and you take that bread, you got to pay that back next year or whenever the case may be. So now you really in the bind. Like you either got to play or you don't play. And like whatever bread you got is what you got.
Is what you
So
got.
And while I appreciate that, and I'm not knocking anybody, and I actually have met B Web a few times, and he seems like a nice person, and I respect him and his craft and everybody else. Let's think about all the teachers that are having, who are having to go back to school, or all the doctors, or whoever else who are putting their lives on the line every single day. So I feel like, sports are great, but they're not essential. And if we're going to put people's lives, if I'm not mistaken, B Web has a daughter.
Yep.
yeah,
Okay, and then let's keep it moving, because at the end of the day, it's not worth it. I
It's
know
not.
you just said
I
you
like it.
play, but come on.
Yeah.
So what about, because he put this in perspective last week? It's like he moving different now. He got to do it to think about. Like he not doing. They told him to pull up, and he was like, "Y'all got to relax. I get back with you. I got to do it." And a family thing about. But what about them young kids, the ones that just got drafted, the ones straight out of college? They don't care. They don't care about. They just they can't come in the league and get to 250 and got paid back and ain't make nothing yet. So it's just
Right.
I understand what you're saying, and I'm not on nobody's side.
Right.
But the NFL's like, somebody gonna play.
Yeah, right.
We giving you the option.
Right.
It's gonna be a good 11 people on each team that's gonna show up and play, and we gonna make it work.
But at
Just
the end of the day, that's kind of one of those things where I have an issue with it again, because who are the players and who are the owners? There's two black players in the NFL, and what percentage of players are black? Who are the most affected by COVID? Black communities of color. So who are you? I'm not gonna run around and play this game with my life because you want to see some football on Sunday. Like I just feel like this is part of the bigger problem.
Big facts. Yeah, this is
Solid.
exactly part of the problem. And like the money behind it is like was really the most annoying part. Like that's the part that really stinks. But yeah, man, I don't really I hope I don't say I hope it doesn't happen, but like if there's any risk to the players, it doesn't need to happen like whatsoever.
100%.
If they're protected, let's play. You know what I'm saying? But like I don't even see how they can be protected in this type of situation. So I'm kind of with OBJ at the end of the day too. Like this doesn't make the most sense. Like,
it's tough for football, especially
it's tough. It's tough.
with the staff and all that and equipment. You got like at least 120 on each team. You got a bubble. So I know MLS is in the bubble also. Melissa did that for us. Thank you, Melissa. So MLS is in the bubble.
So I didn't know they were in a bubble. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I didn't even know that.
Boom. I think
Boom. So it might be that time. It might be halftime, man. To take
halftime. So we gonna stay
breather
just
talk
what you said. What you said, Ali. How COVID is attacking like the communities of color. So let's keep it there. When, but it's for all of us. I got to. So when did you realize that you were black?
Oh man. So I was in Target. I was 7 years old, 7 years old. My mother is white and my father is black. And I was with my dad. My dad had both myself and my sister. We were shopping. And the security guard at Target walked up to us and was questioning my father all types of crazy. And I just remember thinking to myself, like, this never happens when I'm with my mother. Like, why is that? And I guess I kind of just snowballed into my thinking of like, okay, what's going on? What is race? What does race mean? And it just kind of went from there. But what about y'all?
That's crazy.
Yo, I mean, to see both sides of the coin and to like, do you remember like how old you were when you realized like you recognize the difference between like, yo, my mom and my dad? Like, did you say how old you were? But like,
You're like 6, 7, like first grade.
yeah, that's crazy. Like to see like there's a significant difference between the mom and dad situation. Like that's just a different perspective. I ain't even begin to think about, to be honest.
Facts.
But Fudge, what you got, man? I know you got a significant or different,
Okay,
unique.
yeah. So it's Let me just like real quick background. I didn't like my dad was raising me like always carry your ID because I still don't carry my ID. Like I put it back in my phone because I don't carry my wallet. But like he was telling me that at a young age, carry your ID. You giving the police, you giving people a reason to mess with you. But I'm young and naive, and I'm like, all right, Dad. So whenever he not around, I leave the ID in the car, the crib, whatever the case may be. So it's like little things like that, and I feel like I'm around kids a lot. I'm around a lot of mixed kids and like boys and young men. And parents ask me like, when do I have this talk with my child? I don't have kids, so I'm thinking like, when did I realize that I was black or even understand what my mom and dad was telling me for me to understand what it is? So like it's a significant moment in my life. I played hockey. I played roller hockey and I played ice hockey till I was 18. The only reason I stopped is because Virginia State gave me a football scholarship. So I played my all through my senior year of high school. But I was around white people a lot. Like I got a white mom. She looked after me. She take me to the games when my parents couldn't. Like to this day, I call her mom. But what I'm saying is, it was a point in my life when I was like wanted to be white because I was around this shit so much. Like I wanted to be white, and I'm like, I wish I was white. I wish I was white. Whatever the case, and it just was like my surroundings. And I guess like now that I'm talking about it, maybe just like when they all together with no black people around, like it was a
It
vibe.
was
You know what I
cool.
mean? Like
Yeah,
they
it was
they was
cool.
cool. It wasn't no Karens. It wasn't no people doing no necks because whatever. But I was in the mix. So the people on my team, they all white, but I'm on the team, and I was a great hockey player. That my team loved me. Like they fight for me. But when we play these other teams, I was good. Hockey you could hit, so I was hitting because I was aggressive with football. I score goals, all that. The other teams hate me. It came to a point where like damn near fighting every ice hockey game. We traveling Pennsylvania, Carolina, Maryland, all that. My parents used to get into it with their parents after the game just because I'm gonna say the color of my skin. The young boys I was playing with was racial slurs. The parents was talking shit too, and I'm naive at this point. I don't know. I'm just like I'm out here trying to play hockey, and y'all
Right.
calling me the N word. All right, whatever. But my team ain't taking. But to say, I said all that to say like being around it, I wanted to be white. I told my brother like I want to be white, but it just took me to like I'm gonna say a good 13, 14 when like my parents used to tell me small to like when you go outside, behave. Like anybody say something to you, don't talk back, carry your ID. Those little gems that they leave you with every day is just a reminder that you're black. So when you leave the house, you're like, be good, call me if you need anything. She's saying you're a black man leaving the house. It's a possibility you might not come home because of the color of your skin. My dad's like, you make sure you got your ID. He's
Yeah.
saying you're black, don't give nobody reason to mess with you because you might not come back home, and that'd be the catalyst to the whole big thing. So I'm gonna say around 12, 13 because of my hockey incidents, and then my parents like telling me, and that's when I started to really understand around that 12, 13 age.
Yeah, no, that's. I was gonna ask, like, what, like, I get. It sounded like you said, when you was just like, I guess all the white friends around, like, it was cool, like the vibe was smooth. So it was like that kind of what encouraged you to like, I kind of want to be white. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I went to a black school, black high school, black middle school, all
yeah,
that.
yeah,
It was, but on the weekends, like outside of school, I'm just surrounded by that. I play football and I leave for practice and I go to hockey practice. I'm surrounded by that, but like in that atmosphere, they was cool. They was chilling. They was
yeah,
chilling. I'm like, shoot, and I can't play the game. I love hockey. I can't play it because they calling me the N word. Like the parents is like outside the glass, like doing a crybaby face and shit. I'm not doing nothing. I'm like, can I just be white real quick, please? I just want to be white so I can play hockey. But that was my turning point. So yeah.
got you. I got you. I had this kind of similar situation. Like, I mean, I didn't want to, like, no disrespect. I didn't want to be white, but like, I think that I was kind of like naive most of the time. Like I've been around growing up. Like I was around white people. Like when I lived in Maryland, like I went to Carroll, but like the way I went there was because they were trying to start an all black lacrosse team, and at that time, like you had the Gonzagas and the Mathis that had, well established lacrosse teams that were pretty much predominantly white, and like here you go with this Carroll High School, if you know, was like between that and Bishop McNamara was like a black private. It was like a private school, so it was black. Like everybody in there was black. You know what I'm saying? So like it was that's what it was. And so here we go starting this, lacrosse team, and pretty much the coach was like, "Yo, I'm gonna pay for you," and I had two brothers at the time. I'll pay for you and your brothers to come to this private school because I'm trying to start this lacrosse team. And so at that, I mean, my father like kind of instilled that appreciation for him, like whether he was black, white, blue, green, it didn't really matter. He just happened to be white. You know what I'm saying? And so like doing that, and then from there, like I was at lacrosse camps like left and right. And then but I never really heard like racial slurs or anything like that, which was crazy, looking back on it. I definitely would have remembered it. But I say all that to say, like, I never really, to this day, like I started reading. The reason why I added this question is because I'm reading this book by Baratunde Thurston called How to Be Black. And that was that was a question that he asked, and it was like, when did you first realize you were black? And to this day, I've been reading it for about a couple weeks now. I can't remember when I first realized I was black. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I haven't been hit with anything that's like, yo, you're black. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just been kind of like, kind of living maybe a little naive, maybe I don't know, but I haven't, like, my experiences with with I guess the Caucasian crowd hasn't been something that's like a stain. It's just like it is what it is. It's been a neutral relationship, I guess you can say. So that's that. Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah, man.
with that, I'm gonna go first. Like, can you say a personal moment that you have experienced as, like, I guess as a young adult because of the color of our skin? I'm gonna go first. I was in Virginia State. I was riding around in Rawls' car. I was I was driving in Rawls' car. Rawls had a
Who's
Crown
wrong?
Vic. Dre, my godson father. You seen him? Q Dog. His birthday was the other day.
Okay.
Okay, so you seen it on the gram. Anyway,
I just wanted you to tell the people. That's all.
oh, let them know. That's my best friend.
Yeah.
He had a Crown Vic, white junk, long junk, long Crown Vic, right? With the 22s. Boy had the
Oh,
speakers.
so you looking like it.
Had the speakers, so the music boom, 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 right? For some reason, we was in college. I was driving this car. I don't know why. I'm going down, just driving down the street. Cop pulled me over. I'm like, I know I be speeding, but today, like, you'd have caught me yesterday. All right, but today I won't even speed. Bro, I'm driving. He pulled me over, and he like, license registration. I'm like, what I do? He's like, let me see your license registration. I gave him my license registration. He was like, can I search your car? And I was naive. I'm dumb. I'm like, what you need to
You
search
got
it
that thing on you, man. You got
What
that
you need to
thing
search
on
it
you.
for? He
You was
was
up in
like,
Michigan? Oh yeah, you had that thing on you.
he was like, that's what you need to search it for. He was like, can I search it? Can I just search your car? I was like, nah. He was like, all right, have a good day. I pulled you over because you had the air fresheners hanging from the junk,
Oh
from the
man.
middle junk.
Don't too late.
But it didn't hit me till I went home. I'm like, Dre, Rose, bro, I got pulled over. He was like, my dad said next time that happened, get the badge number, whatever. But I felt like, bro, I know what the car looked like, bro. It was a long white Crown Vic with the 22s on the junk, black
Yeah.
dude driving. They pulled me over and was like, can I search your car? What? It fucked me up. I was like, nah. Then I went home. I'm like, Dre, bro, like, what's up? He was like, they do it to me too, but I felt like it was because of the color of my skin and the car that I was in. The music won't loud, none of that. Won't speed, none of that. All right, Allie, you go. Personal moment.
So I'll just go with today, actually.
Whoa.
So, we're looking at houses. It's about that time. Interest rates are low, ready to buy. And we walked in a house that, not humble brag that we can afford, but it looked like maybe something that we shouldn't be able to afford, my boyfriend and I. And the first question out the realtor's mouth is, so what do you do? I'm like, so what do we do? Like, lady, are you going to show us the house? Like,
Yeah.
what's going on here? So actually, that was yesterday. That wasn't today. That was yesterday. The realtor today did some other crazy stuff. But I'm just like, would you be asking white people the same thing? The first thing that you ask when they, like, what do y'all do? And then she's asking if we're married and all this other stuff. And I'm just like, I'm really wondering, are you asking this to every white couple that walks in the door?
Right.
I feel
Nah,
like
it's
if that's a thought, it's a real live thought. Like
that's
if
just
you have to
systemic
think
as
about it,
hell, bro.
then it's a problem. Like are you asking me because I'm black? Do you ask it to
Right.
everybody else? Like the fact that we have to think about these things, I think is the problem.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
So
That's too much to like really. Yeah, it's a lot to. It's so systemic. It just that's the definition of systemic racism right there, man. Like, it's
it's
just
so
like so
crazy.
deep. It's so deeply rooted. Like to peel back all those layers. It's just a lot, yo. But I know you mentioned you have a boyfriend. Do you have any? Do you have like I guess like nieces or nephews or anything?
I have a whole bunch.
But
Uh,
whole gang on, bro. Whole gang on.
I
my
got
older sister has 6 kids.
woo. You got a whole. Okay, you got a whole
Got a 5 and a 6 man of the year.
5 and 6 minutes. Yeah, you ready to lock and load? Okay, we
Yeah.
going like that. So boom, this is perfect. So I have children. I was talking to one of my friends, yesterday who also has children, and so let me first of all let me put the banner up so we can provide some context here because this is this is a context situation. So kids and body parts. So at a young age, like when it comes to like the private parts and all that, we don't necessarily like we've heard nicknames. So like if a kid comes to you and was like, "Yo, my pancakes hurt," like what do you
And what's pancakes? We need to know what pancakes is.
you know what I'm saying? So like I guess my question is like what's our mindset when it comes to like what do we teach the kids as far as like this is what this is? But when do we have to switch over and be like, yo, this is the nickname, but this is what it really you know what I'm saying? Like, or are you like just straight up like, yo, this is that?
This is what it is because let me tell you what. If they don't know exactly what that correct name is, then that I feel like leaves them room or more room to be taken advantage of because now they don't know like no, you do not touch my X, Y, or Z. They're calling it pancakes, and now you're telling me, oh, so and so touched my pancakes, and I'm like, okay, like whatever. Instead of
Right.
so and so touch my, I don't know what we can say on this live, but
Whatever
Oh,
you
you can
want.
say what, yeah,
Whatever.
like so
yeah.
and so touch my vagina. Okay, that's a whole different situation. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So
So
So when do you make that transition, Ali?
or-
Do you think?
it's
Like
kinda
what?
like
why can the 3-year-old not know the word vagina?
yeah. So yeah, I think it's just normalized 3-year-olds saying vagina and penis. Like I think that's what it is. We gotta normalize that shit.
So
Um,
normalizing it. So like making it okay. What I'm getting at is I don't have kids, but I'm around them all the time. I know kids that use the words freely, like vagina, penis, and dick, and I hate the p word like so much. Anyway, but like they use it, but also there's kids that know it and don't use it. There's also kids that know it but still refer to like pancakes. Like I think that is socially appropriate that if you're talking to me and we're like me and my kids talking together and you say pancakes, I know what it is, but I feel strongly enough to know that if my kid had to speak to somebody else or like dad, forget that, they touch my penis today, like just go there,
Right.
they can. Like it's when to use it and when not to use it. Like don't just be walking around like my penis hurt, nigga, your pancakes hurt
Also,
when we in the store. But
yeah.
I just think because kids do know, they know when and when not to do something. So they know the play word and the real word. Kids know when to not. Like for example, yesterday you was like, Joe, show me your ankles. His ankles this is Joe's ankles. But so his son was like,
He lifted his shirt up.
my ankles. He was like, show me your ankles. He was like, do you? He was like, yeah, go ahead. Then he lifted his shirt up, but he understood what he was talking about. But he knew like, are you sure you want me to? So
Yeah, you
kids
want to
know.
see my ankles or like yeah.
Kids know when the word is appropriate and when it's not appropriate, and like I think they should. I think I don't have kids. I think they should know both. Especially growing up, we can call it pancakes. So you like 3, then I can tell you the real word, but don't ever
Yeah.
use it. But we're still going to use it. Use pancakes for now. That's just
Well, why not? Why can't we use the real word? That's my question. Like,
Yeah, and that's why I brought it up. I think it's valid both ways. Whether we go with, like I think it's just a matter of normalizing. Like I mean, for a kid to be if you got a daycare kid, like you go in there and like your kid is the only one in there saying penis and vagina, like. Depending on where you at, you might have some of those daycare kids come or teachers coming up to you like, "Hey, what's going on?" Whatever. But I think it's both sides of the coin because like they should know those actual words and what they mean, but then also it's like this is kind of like a nickname, but then you got to switch over. But they're also like 3 years old, so like how accountable can you hold a 3-year-old? You know what I'm saying? So it's like
I
what do
say
you
private parts to this day. Like I still don't even be saying penis and vagina like private.
Yeah,
I'm not comfortable saying it. I don't like saying it.
yeah.
Like I don't even say it in the act. Like I don't even be trying to say it in the act. Who's this?
Yo, Fudge still 7 years old, man. Private part. What's wrong with this man, yo?
Bro, because I don't want to say the word.
Fudge still 7. Yo.
I know somebody comment. Y'all feel me on this.
Nah, I feel you though. No, that's what's up, man. Now,
Yeah,
yeah,
that was
it was just an interesting conversation.
I like it though. It's a different perspective. Now I'm thinking like 3-year-old.
It's something to think about. Like,
Yeah, it is.
Is it going to be pancakes or is it going to be vagina? I mean, I'm saying that's what they call it, but like, that's just that. If I hear anybody refer to those as pancakes, I'm done. Like,
Well, my thing, so Fudge, you said you're worried about like your 3-year-old screaming out penis in the grocery store or whatever. But is your 3-year-old screaming out finger in the grocery store? No, because it's not like of shock value. The reason they're screaming out penis is because it's of shock value. It's not normalized for them. You know what I'm saying?
They're not gonna get that reaction.
With their eyes or whatever. It's like, okay, you screaming out penis now. Come on.
yeah.
Oh, you know what? That's like a reinforcer. The kid's trying to do something. They know if I say penis, we gonna leave the store right now because the kid don't want to be there. This is the stuff I.
These kids getting smart, man.
They get, but it makes sense though. Like you said, like, the kid's not gonna be yelling finger in it. Like, but would the kid be yelling in the grocery store anyway? Like, is that something I even need to worry about? Like, long story short, teach these kids penis and vagina. That's what I'm getting, and y'all making it make sense.
Yeah. Long story short, avoid the avoidable. Penis and vagina.
Penis and vagina. We all grown.
Yeah, man.
We all grown.
Speaking of, I guess this is a trash segue. I might have bricked this shot, but penis and vagina, significant others. So you mentioned you have a boyfriend. So I think this is a great situation. So let me change my banner, yo. There we go. When is enough?
When is enough?
So boom, I was on your page. I saw you did a TikTok video a while back. So I personally I hate TikTok. I wanted nothing to do with it. But like every other day, my wife would come to me and be like, "Yo, can you do this TikTok video with me?" And I'm like, "Fam, every time you ask me, I get like almost angry. Like, fam, don't if you never ask me this shit again, I'll be cool. I'll be good on that."
Right.
I get my question is what is that one thing your significant other, is like, hell no, not rolling, just not happening. And Fudge, my question to you is what's that thing for you, not happening. You go first, Alison. Ladies first.
Man, you gotta give me a second to think on this one.
All right,
pass it back to you, Fudge. Go ahead.
All right, okay. Boom. I'm gonna just use the one that we talked about the other day, when the girl smack your butt, bro, don't touch. It's just it's kind of demoralizing. Shorty, why you did that? Tell me what was in your just tell me why. Just make it make sense, just real quick.
Why did that make sense to you?
You do it to me. No, listen, just tell me why you did it. Cause
that's it right there, Fudge. That's it. I love just a good handful of Javon butt and
nah, fam. Brought in. Appreciate you.
He's the least violent person I've ever met. He would not hurt a fly, but I really think
a handful is crazy.
Me.
that shit's so uncomfortable, bro. It's just so uncomfortable, bro. Just so.
Here's the double standard though, because the bounce back is yo, I guess I don't know how often it happened in football, but you can tell me. But in basketball, when we hooping, your coach might be like, yo, good shot, good play, or even your teammate might be like, good shot, good play, and when you get mad at your girl or your significant other for doing it, they come back as well, you let your teammate doing it, that's different. So what you gotta say to that, Alison? Because you hoop, is your homegirl hitting you with the, you know what I mean?
With the handful.
What's going on? Is your homegirl grabbing the handful on the court on some yo, that was a good play?
Yeah,
it's different. See.
But this is my thing. Yes, that's different. But I still like smacking my boyfriend's butt, and he's gonna kill me. He's gonna be like, I look.
It's on site every time, bro. Like,
Fact.
you ready to go on site, bro.
And in public, oh my gosh, don't let it happen in public. Oh,
Hey, the whole day is done. Like,
It's over. We got to go to sleep and start it over.
You might as well just go to the crib. Like,
It's
yo,
a nap needed.
Kick it with the homies, and like we just going. I'm gonna holler at you tomorrow because like, you just violated the whole night. Like I don't know if I can shake back. Like that's just me.
Bro, that shit's so wild. So wild. So wild.
Yeah, nah, like enough. Like I was just curious because like yeah, like my wife is Portia is her name, but she's always like, yo, can you do a TikTok, Vic? Can you do a TikTok? I'm like, no. And like every single time I'm not like, maybe. I'm like, no, hell no.
just appease her and do a TikTok. Like, well, actually, okay, I'm against TikTok now, but
right
when I was okay with it, what does it matter?
No, I get the appease.
Word, Calvin.
Listen, I get the whole appease thing, but like I just feel like
that's just it.
Other times too, though. Like, what about like it don't like out just like the non-appeaser. Like I be doing stuff. You know what I'm saying? I gotta appease
non-appeaser.
I gotta appease everything. I bet.
Okay.
Everything then.
Okay, so this is my thing. Her happiness for you doing it, does it outweigh your 10 seconds of discomfort doing a TikTok?
First of all, I feel like TikTok definitely take like 10 minutes for a 6-second TikTok. But I've never did one, so I don't know.
You know what?
All right, my bad.
To answer your question, I did a TikTok yesterday. I gave in. I did my thing. I wasn't in the video. It was just my hands. But a 10-second TikTok video ain't 10 seconds. That shit was definitely like 10, 15 minutes because we had to do like 25 takes because y'all can't get enough. Y'all gotta get the right joint.
You gotta post it on the gram on the OTS page so we can see this TikTok.
Oh yeah. No. You saw it, Fudge?
Nah, I didn't. I want to see it.
Oh man. So here, brought her up. Here we go. Thank you. Like she said.
Hey, you see it, Allison, his wife?
I got you.
Hey, mother P. You know what? I'm gonna call your wife later because don't let her because she be on me. We gonna talk. We gonna talk.
Just post the TikTok I did. It was actually pretty funny. Yo, shout out Pop Smoke, man. That's a funny guy. That's my man. Rest in peace to my man's. But
all right, here we go. I got something for us, Allison. This is entrepreneurship. We understand you got a business. Please tell us about it. This is kind of our business in a way, off the strip, black owned by us, me and Calvin. So can't nobody fire us.
Right.
But we understand that you do have a business. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, so Pop by Giselle. Giselle is my middle name. And I am not going to tell you what POP stands for because I have something coming in the works for that.
Okay.
But look out. But yeah, so I was looking for some swimwear last year, and I had a friend of mine, and we wanted to get some matching sets to go on a vacation. And she is a different size than I am, very much so, a different size than I am. And we were both frustrated that none of the suits that I wanted came in her size and vice versa. You know what I'm saying? So like it was either a small to a large or really actually nothing at all. All of the suits that we were looking at, none of them had any plus size. So I am big into inclusivity and diversity of size and thought and everything of that nature. So I was like, you know what? Why don't I just do this myself? Like this can't be too hard. I was wrong. It was pretty hard to get up off the ground. But we do have bathing suits ranging in sizes small to 5XL. So that's kind of where that stems from. I am big into workout, and a lot of girls will always ask me, like, where do you get your tights from? Where do you get what's the best this to work out in? And so I added workout clothes, and then the men started asking for some men's swimwear, and so we have men's swimwear now. So that's kind of just the trajectory of how that started and where that's going and things of that nature.
Facts. I got a lot for you real quick. So Allison and Jay Smallwood did send me a care package. That's like The little things like that meant most. And I put the product in my hair the other day. Amazing. But I did wear the trunks that you sent me. I wore them last night. You sent me a size large. They actually fit. The way that they're fitting is like the more of the newer style. They're not baggy. Like they're hugging my thighs. Like they're perfect. I love them. It got pockets, all of that. I'm gonna send you a picture once I like get one I like and like edit it because I don't. I'm gonna send it to you and I'm gonna put it on my page too so OTS can see the men's swimwear.
You got
This is
one
the
of these
website,
joints?
huh?
You got one of these joints?
Yeah, keep going down.
No, you gotta click on so you what did you get? What you got the floral ones, I think. So
Yep,
swimwear and then go to men yeah, go to swimwear, navigate over to swimwear, and then go
swim
down
shorts.
swim shorts. Yeah. So there are two different styles. There are the longer ones and there are the shorter ones. I definitely thought that Fudge was a shorter, short type of situation.
Okay,
Send him the floral,
them
which are
ones.
side.
The
Yep,
second
right
Which
ones,
there.
one?
the
These?
blue, pink. Yeah.
Those right there.
Okay. Yeah,
So
I'm the short type guy too, man. I need my knees out, B. These
facts,
knees gotta
facts.
show.
I don't do squats to hide my legs. Like
Facts, man.
I need all that out. But you sent me that. I wore it. I'm gonna send you a picture within a couple of days once I get them all. And so my question to you is, Pop by Giselle is it's amazing. I've been sending this website to a lot of friends lately, and they loving it. Like somebody was like, I like how they got curvy models. And from what you just said, it's like your idea is amazing. So my question is, when did you start? When did you start? Like the day, like when you say I wanted to do it, and then when did you like put the website and all of it like start to actually go?
So I started in the summer of 2019. We were and so about a year. It was supposed to launch June 1st of 2020, but you know George Floyd's death happened the day before, and just because of everything going on, I didn't feel like it was the socially appropriate time to launch the next day just because of everything happening. So we pushed it back a month. So from start to finish, it was probably about 13, 14 months. What I will say is that through the end of the year, just because of everything going on and just because in general, like I think that we need to uplift Black voices and Black nonprofit organizations and organizations doing, good things in the community. We're partnering with an organization a month, and we're donating 20% of profit to that organization. So last month was my sister's keeper at UVA, which is an organization that uplifts girls in the Charlottesville area, predominantly girls of color. This month we are partnering with the Fetch'em Down, or is it Fetch'em Friday? Fetch'em Friday.
Fetching Friday, yes.
I always want to call it Fetch'em Down.
Ooh,
But we're
I'm gonna get
partnering.
one of these. P, if you watching, let me know. Sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good. You're good. So this month we're partnering with Fetch'em Friday Foundation. So every purchase that you make will support, Fetch'em that foundation. So make sure you shop this month.
Yeah, but I'm gonna hold you down, bro.
Good looking out, homie.
Yeah.
So
So that's
so
every month. If you want to see who we're partnered with, if you want to click on the Pop for Change at the top.
Oh, okay, right over here. Pop for
Yeah,
change. There you go.
people we partnered with in the past months, and then who we're partnered with this month.
Nice.
They're now, and just a little bit about what they do. So
It's good stuff. Yeah, shout out to you, Allison.
shout out to Allison with the nonprofit black. I love it. The swimsuits is dope. Like I be looking at
Oh, there you
the
go.
one pieces, two piece. Bro, you ain't even go to the two pieces too. Them Jones tough. But yeah, so
Let's hit that
like
up. Quick.
for example, when like we're going on vacation or whatever, and I'm like, I need some new trunks or whatever. I'm going to like
Woo.
Calvin. I'm going to like Polo, whatever. But once you send me dope, and I like a whole bunch of other one of these, you know what I mean? And everybody I know that be looking, I be sending. Like so,
that's the other thing is like Calvin and Polo are dope, and there's of course who doesn't love like Calvin or Polo. But the other thing that I was super frustrated with is I feel like we're manufacturing these at a price point where I think it's just greedy to then turn around and sell
Damn.
them for $150.
mm-hmm.
Like that's wild to me. So
Yeah.
I was like, we're gonna make this where I'm still making profit so that I can, sustain what I need to do over here. But at the end of the day, I'm not gonna mark these up 500% because that's just greedy. Like it's just crazy. It's playing into the capitalist narrative, and I wanted to make it accessible. And the other thing that Fashion Nova, again, accessible, affordable, and sometimes they have all of the sizes. But the problem with them is that they have these Instagram models who their bodies have been born
Altered,
just crazy augmented. So for the most part, all of
creative players.
yeah, like all of the pictures are me. Well, not all, but I would say 90% of the pictures are me, just so people can get like a real view of what
Yeah.
a real body looks like instead of this girl who has had everything on her done. Not knocking anyone who has, because we all love a little butt lift, but at the end of the day, that's not what 90%, 95% of the girls look like in the U.S.
Yeah.
So.
No, that's real. I think we got to get back to that. We got to normalize the naturalness, man, because that's honestly that's a preference. That's a necessity in these times.
So I've watched a couple movies, especially because of the BLM that's going on now. But they, back in the day, they knew, like our ancestors knew, putting money into each other's pockets. Like we're not funding each other, but we're building each other by doing that. So, like, just for example, you got the swimsuits, you got the
Man,
swimsuits, you got the trunks. Yeah, I heard it. And like the
watch that.
other people we know, HB, you feel me? Like eat all them. Like I'm taking pride in now putting my money into them places instead of going to the store buying this shirt from Polo or whatever the case. Like honestly, your Pop by Giselle line is popping. Like I can just one shop here, price affordable, is options,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's for a good cause, and you give back. Like this is,
So
I
we
feel
win.
better spending my money here, and I feel like we keep, let's normalize that. Let's
Yeah.
normalize
Make
spending
that
our
make
money
sense.
with people that look like us, so we can all grow instead of going to the other man. I
It's
love it.
so crazy how people are so hyped to rock Gucci across their chest for a T-shirt that's $500, but you can't turn around and, like you said, humble. So our friend Haley has humble beginnings. I get so hyped every time I'm in public and I'm rocking a humble beginning shirt. When people are like, "Oh, that shirt is dope! Like, where did you get that?" I'm so excited to tell them, "Oh, that's my friend," or whatever. Why are you more hyped to wear Gucci so that people can know you spent $500? Be excited about your friend stuff. Like it's crazy to me.
Nah, that's a fact. Like you got. I mean, I so earlier I started doing this thing with the podcast. Like I'm gonna post a picture like every week, like on my way to the podcast, even though I'm going right inside my living room. You know what I'm saying? I think it's like a cool little oxymoron type thing that I'm doing. Like I'm getting these
Right.
fits. I ain't going nowhere. We're in the middle of a pandemic, so I ain't going anywhere. But I just been wanting to put brands on. So like every week I'm gonna try and do that and like just put a different brand on it and just try to show love because like I agree. Like spending that money there just didn't make sense. Like I was one of those people, and I got a couple friends that like I had this conversation with a while ago. Like growing up, like I was paying what I could afford. I didn't really care about brands or whether it was black or not. But like when I see folks buying like Supreme and whatnot, like $60, $100 t-shirts, I'm like, yo, that's crazy. Like I can't do it. You know what I'm saying? And then like I see like my friends selling t-shirts for the same price. And I'm like, yo, why are they selling it so crazy? I grew up paying $20, $30 at max for a t-shirt. But the reason why we do it is because you see like your Supremes and you see, these different brands selling these t-shirts, and we right there, in line, lines out the door buying them. So it's like it makes sense. So like when folks can't, they'll support that, but you got to be able to show that same love to your friends. So
And
when
don't ask for a discount. Stop asking.
yeah,
Like $20 bathing suit. What do you want it for free?
It come with the top and the bottom for 20. I was like, oh,
right. So
But even
like,
if it's 40, 50, 60, pay that money. You're not asking
you
everybody.
know what I'm
I'm
saying?
buying.
Yeah, and that was me. Like I was never that type of person. Like I'm not like first I was like I've never bought a Supreme t-shirt in my life. Like I've never had. And so I was like, that doesn't make sense to me. So like when my homies started selling t-shirts, I was like, damn, this is a crazy price to me. Hello? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Well, I don't know what just happened. I was like, yo, this price is crazy. But then I started seeing like, these other top brands being sold and like how people are like out the door for them. I'm like, all right, so that makes sense. So I'm not going that direction. I'm gonna support the homies. So that's kind of like where my mindset has been, especially with the time that we in. Hence, like the t-shirt that I have on right now is one of the homies from back home. So, like that's my mindset. Like I'm gonna spend that bread, home, like in my community. Like I'm all for it at this point. Like and it makes sense growing up, but it makes sense now. So I'm rocking.
And
But
these conversations need to be had because like it took me a minute to actually understand. Like I would go spend 40, 50 on a shirt or whatever, and I can get that to Haley for a humble shirt, and it's like,
yeah,
bro,
you
it's
got that
still dope.
friendship.
Like,
Yeah,
and it's way more meaningful. Like I got a horse on my chest, so I
yeah.
got humble across, or I'm rocking pop. Like, yeah, I mean, I pulled up with the pop, with the swimming trunks. Like, oh, where you going looking like? I'm like, nah, these pop. You know what I'm saying? It's just pop, shorty. It's pop, sweetheart. It's
It's
just
the
pop,
pop,
sweetheart.
sweetheart.
That's
Don't
it.
worry about it, sweetheart.
Yeah,
It's
it
the
just
pop.
pop.
Nah, that's what's up, man. Yeah, like definitely support the homies and like so entrepreneurship, COVID, pre-COVID. So I'm just curious, like how has that been? Like I think it's just like it's been a different time. Like one thing I've been hearing is like you got to find something that's like quote unquote COVID proof. But question to you as like an entrepreneur, like what you've been doing with Pop by Giselle, has there been any what kind of challenges have you hit? Since COVID has hit, from before.
I mean, there have been numerous challenges that I'm sure that a whole bunch of other entrepreneurs can relate to. My three biggest ones were, first of all, we literally launched in the middle of a pandemic. So
Right.
people are more wary about where their money is going, especially to swimwear, because what are you wearing swimwear to? Where are you going right now? No.
Right. Yeah, that was a challenge. Yeah.
It's hard to get people to understand, like, the bathing suit doesn't expire. It's not cottage cheese. You can wear it next year. But also being not being disappointed in my friends if they don't buy right now. It is what it is. Like, I know everybody is in a different stage, in different situation with COVID. So if you can't buy until 2023, fine, that's fine. But that's definitely one thing. We had to change manufacturers right before production, and right before we were about to roll out, and that was so stressful because of COVID and just being extra COVID conscious. And then just like you said, kind of COVID proofing. So trying to figure out what does the consumer need? Because at first I just wanted to be swimwear, but now I'm like, you know what? People are asking for other stuff, and I can't give everybody everything that they want, but I do think that people have some valid points and ideas. So trying to expand it just beyond swimwear and activewear might be something that y'all see in the future.
That's dope.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
I got a question in the entrepreneurship. Like people, like I feel like a lot of people are doing this now. Like instead of working for somebody else, do it, do it for yourself, right? Or be an entrepreneur. So people looking in at you and you got an amazing website, like your story's great. Somebody that's trying to or up and coming or thinking about it, like what can you like what motivation can you give? Because with the nonprofit I started, I know it's like ups and downs, like a roller coaster. So, for you, from your viewpoint, what can you tell people that's listening about being an entrepreneur, like something to motivate them? Like, go.
Um, so I just think that people are always going to try to put you in a box, and I know that I cannot say exactly where I work, but I am a cybersecurity analyst, and I had to get permission to start my own business, just because of some of the work that I do. And somebody had said to me, like, stay in your lane. Like, why are you trying to do too much? Like, you have a secure career, you have this. Like, why are you trying to do this extra stuff? And I'm like, you know what? At the end of the day, do exactly what you want to do, and then just keep going. Like, don't let anybody box you. Don't let anybody tell you what you can and can't do. And things are hard. Like, I made this website by myself. I didn't hire anybody. I had never made a website before. I just did it by myself. And when I tell you that was trial and run for months on end, you can ask Javon, my boyfriend. He was like, "Could you take a break from the website?" And I'm like, "No, I can't."
No, I can't. I'm sorry, I can't.
You have, like, I have to. And he's super supportive, but sometimes, 10 hours, 11 hours, 12 hours, he's like, all right, you got to take a break for your mental
Yeah.
health. No matter
Yeah.
whether you do one thing for the business that day or 10 things, just keep going. And eventually you'll see it happen. The other thing that always gets people really excited at the beginning of a business, you see these crazy numbers because everybody is supporting. And then it kind of tapers out and
Yeah.
don't be discouraged, just keep going. Just
Gotcha.
keep going. Eventually it will, it'll steadily increase. It might not happen right away, but just keep on going. That would be the best advice I could give anybody, is just to keep going.
Man, I can't agree with you anymore. My bad, Fuss. You was about to say something?
Yeah, that's crazy that you did your website because I paid big money for somebody to do it. So
Yeah.
seeing what I paid for and seeing what you did trial and error, this the more and more you talk about it, like the more and more it's more impressive. Like I'm support you 1,000% already because love is love. But like
I
you,
appreciate that much.
that's work to put this together.
Yeah. Nah.
It,
Yeah.
it stressed me out to pay somebody to do it.
I mean, it
You
was,
did it.
but then and then, like I'm not even joking. I didn't hire a photographer, anything. Because at first, you don't want to pour out 20, 30,
You
40.
gotta, yeah, you got to minimize expenses. Like,
Yeah, so I'm literally setting up like a camera on my couch on some shoe
make
boxes,
it work. Make it
self
work.
timer, coming behind the camera, taking the picture, going to make sure I like it. Okay, change, do the next one, do the next one. I don't have capital to pay models right now, things of that nature. So you have to sacrifice, but in the end, I think that it usually ends up worth it. So
Your story is super impressive. Super
You
impressive.
know, Fudge, like, I mean, I can totally like empathize with what Allison is saying. Like, even with the pod, man, like when you were saying your boyfriend was like, "Yo, can you take a break?" Like, fam, I be like working on the podcast, like between like music or whether I'm working on like videos or artwork or promotion. It's just like it's always something to do, and like it's kind of like my job at work. Like, if you like, there's always gonna be something to do. So if you don't walk away, you always gonna be bit like it's
Hmm.
consume you. You know what I'm saying? So you can't let it consume you, but you also kind of like you don't want it to like you don't want to lose. Like you see something, it's like, yo, I need to fix that. Like, oh wait, well, if I do that, I need to do that. So
right,
you just want to perfect your craft. And so like even with the podcast to this day, like I'm always like looking at it, like what can I do different? Like how can I promote it a little bit differently? Like who we got coming on next week? Like how can I make this a unique experience for the folks that's about to click on our story or the folks that's about to like scroll past and see our page? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's the key to I think to like entrepreneurship in 2020 is like how can you get that person to tap in and tap in consistently?
right.
You know
So
what I'm saying?
how did you get over the hump? And I'm just making assumptions because I don't know how many people watched when you all first started. But were there ever times when it was you go the whole podcast and it's one or two people tune in and you get discouraged and you're like, dang, I thought it was going to be more than that, or like, how do you handle that?
Can I
Yeah,
go real quick, Kev?
yeah, go ahead, Fudge. Do you think, bro?
We just started this live during the COVID. We COVID proofed it. So we just started this and like all the features like people can comment and we can tap in like we just call you and we all in one spot. So that's new. But when we first started, it we I record like Tuesday and then we'll drop like Saturday. Um I'm not gonna say we wasn't discouraged because it was more like it's more of an outlet for us. Like when we get together, drink a little bit, talk about sports, like we
We feel
people do it every day. We just doing it together, recording it, and pressing play and putting it out there for people to see. So, like in that aspect, it's like I don't think it was ever discouraged. We only had that one discouraging episode that we didn't even post, but that was on us. It's not. It wasn't like it wasn't because nobody viewed it. We just felt like we didn't give no energy to that episode, but it's really for us to talk about sports and kick it for real.
Right.
yeah. So to answer your question, Allison, like I I just I agree. There haven't been times where it was like, oh, this is not what I expected. Cause like honestly, I'm open minded behind it all. Like this is something that I'm doing. I'm putting myself out there. I'm being vulnerable in a sense. So it's like I don't know. It's raw talent. Like I don't know what I'm about to get. And so honestly, like you kind of hang on to that a little bit. Like what are people going to say? But I think like that's kind of like I think that's what kind of can drive your demise, in my opinion. Like if you hanging on to like that feedback and like it's people it's weird because people say like we hanging on to likes and this that and the third. Like a like is more than a like these type of days. It's acknowledgement. It lets me know like you reacted, like you saw something that like I put out there and like I was vulnerable enough to like put out into the open for you to see and you recognize it and you see it. You know what I'm saying? So like I think it's more than a like, but when it doesn't always like manifest or it doesn't always happen, it's like it's more so what can I do different? Like, what didn't work this time versus like, all right, what I'm gonna do something different the next time. It's not like, damn, like I messed up because I don't have the answer. I don't have the keys to it. So it's just like I'm just trying to see what works. So some weeks I'm like when I don't get the not necessary feedback, but like if it's like, damn, like I only got like only 3 people tapped in or whatever the case may be, only got a couple likes. It's like, okay, maybe we talked about this too much, or like fuck, I told you, like we work on our segues, we on point. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just about providing that experience of like, what do you want to see when you press play on a podcast? Like that's the real question. Or what do you want to see when you start looking for swimsuits? In your case, Alison, like I need to see from this size to this size, point blank, period. If I don't see that, I'm going to the next page.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like if we not being natural and being organic on the podcast, I'm going to the next podcast because everybody got a podcast at this point. So how am I keeping you here? That's my thing.
Yeah, and I think what you said about likes is people, say, oh, you're hanging on to likes or comments, but at the end of the day, not only is it validation about what you put out and what you're vulnerable with, likes are now able to be monetized. So yes, I'm hanging on to likes because I get enough likes and I'm making that into some money. And at the end of the day, that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah, so, your appreciation for what I'm doing can make me some money. Like you saying like, yo, I rock with what you're doing is going to put money in my pocket.
Right.
So yeah, I'm holding on to that. Like it's going to help me pay my bills. It's going to help me, take my family on a vacation. It's going to help me, do whatever I want to do. The same thing that you're doing. You're doing what you want to do by tapping in and watching us. Right. So I'm gonna do what I want to do too. So I totally agree. I think and that's the whole thing behind like Instagram and just entrepreneurship thing. Like my homegirl Brio, I was listening to her podcast a couple weeks ago, or 2 weeks ago, and she mentioned that like, yo, if you got an Instagram, you got a brand. Like this is you. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like when people type your name or look you up, like this is what they're going to see, and like whether we believe it or not, like this is how we judging each other. When it comes, like not necessarily judging, but like, all right, I know what like my
this
man.
The first thing this is how you start the picture you paint.
My man's is a sneakerhead, or my man's is like into the fashion game, or my man's is a hooper, or shorty loves this, or shorty loves that, or whatever the case may be. Like it's your resume, point blank, period. No matter how you want to slice it. So you always put your best foot forward on your social media. So it's just a matter of like, tapping into that and maximizing that. Can I get another one?
And I think also something I try to like really, really take a step back, and you have to be secure within yourself because I've gotten some negative feedback. The amount of negative feedback actually anonymously from random fake accounts is crazy. Like
I can only imagine.
I made a swimsuit brand. Like, what? Why are y'all so angry with me? Like, what is wrong with y'all?
Right, I did something for me. What's the beef?
Like, I'm so confused. The people are literally, DMing me from these random fake accounts saying the craziest stuff, and I'm just like, all right, y'all really have to chill. But just sometimes I do take it a little bit personally because I'm like, why? What's the issue here? But then you have to look at yourself and be like, okay, you know what? First of all, they have too much time on their hands. And second of all, it's not about
the COVID.
Yeah, well, even before COVID, it's just like some of y'all, you gotta separate yourself and just be secure and know that what you're doing is good and valuable, and just keep it pushing.
Yeah. And that's what I love about what we're doing right now with the pod. It's just like, I mean, I've been posting like my energy and like my mindset behind it. Like I wasn't ready to I didn't realize when I started the podcast back in 2017, like the amount of vulnerability that came with it. Like I was not ready for that shit whatsoever. But this time around, I'm a little bit more mindful of it. I recognize it. Like this is who I am. This is who we are. This is a platform that we created so we can be ourselves. So, you know what I'm saying? Like I think that like that, right? That organic chemistry that me and you have, Fletch, on the regular. And like, when we have co-hosts, I think that's what people tap into and like appreciate and being like, yo, I recognize that. Like I empathize with that. I see that side of you. You know what I'm saying? Like I live that life every day. You know what I'm saying? So entrepreneurship is just, it's if you got an Instagram, you got a brand. This is you. So if you look at it,
put in the work.
Yeah. Like if you look at it, there's money on the table. So, living in Vegas, I'm a betting man now. So don't leave money on the table. I'm gonna
go get it. We gonna go get
it. We gonna go get it for sure, man. But Alison, how you doing? How was the show today? How'd you like it today?
let me tell you, I was just about to interrupt y'all and thank y'all because I was a little bit nervous. I'm not gonna lie. You know, Fletch can get a little bit crazy. I wasn't sure if I was gonna have Fletch in front of other people or not. But no, for real, it's been amazing, and y'all, this is so comfortable. I can't even believe how long have we been. It's already 8:35. Like I really
we had an hour and a half. We normally rock for an hour. Yeah, we normally rock for an hour and 15.
But it was flowing.
It was flowing. We just was here. So it was just like, I think we're going, I mean, and we had a consistent viewership. Like, granted, it's only it's only a couple people, but like, I appreciate all 5 to 10 of y'all that pulled up and like just appreciate, because I think that just doubles as like, you know, just we continue to grow. So I'm not, you know, I'm loving that. But
if you feel comfortable, Ali, it's just.
Have you ever done a podcast before? That was.
This is my first one. Actually, someone else asked me to do one a couple weeks ago, and I just turned it down because I wasn't comfortable with kind of the setup of things. But y'all, this is great. I'm really thankful that y'all had me on, and I will be tuning in every week. This is dope. I love the setup. I love the topics. I love the motive behind it, the sports, but bringing in like the social justice and all the other stuff. Just day-to-day life stuff is just amazing. So
man,
good game.
Yeah, that's a good game right there. We
good game.
Board today, man. Like we was in that stat book. We gonna enjoy that post game dinner tonight. That's a fact. That's a fact. But look,
hey, Ali, can't thank you enough. Love you to the fullest. I'm gonna send you them pictures, all that. I will be faithfully supporting and promoting Pop by Giselle. We're gonna throw it on the OTS page too. I'm gonna do it personally just out the love. But I mean, anytime you say you got some shit to say, you want to come back, let me know. But thank you so much.
We're gonna definitely. I mean, yeah, there's an opportunity for us to continue to grow, like even between Pop and Off the Strip. So, like, you know, like love is love, yo. Fudge put me onto that, man. So I'm super excited. I appreciate you coming on. And for those who are listening, like I don't know Alison before the show. I didn't know Alison from a can of paint, you know, like, but we made it rock. Like, and I wanted to keep it that way. To keep to just make it as organic and as raw as possible.
Authentic.
Just like just keep it completely off the strip. Like we didn't know where we was going with this, but like, you know, we made it work. So Alison, again, we appreciate you. Shout out to you. Shout out to Pop by Giselle. Ladies, if you're listening, fellas, if you're watching, at Pop by Giselle, just cop, man. Just cop.
Pop. Hey, get that pop. Hey, look. Pop.
Just get that pop. Fam, next time you're on vacation, because like everybody, I mean, we can't go anywhere but Mexico right now. So everybody about to be in Mexico posting a pop. Right. All right, Pop camo, Pop. Well, let me. You have some smooth little lines here. Let me look. It was the activewear that got me. Pop Flex and Pop Wave.
Like Pop Flex.
I like the names. I like what you was doing right there. So
how you did that?
Forward to see what the POP means. Like I'm definitely going to tap into that.
Don't worry.
We're going to share it. We looking forward to you. So for those who are watching, like I said, Pop by Giselle, the Instagram is right there. Find everything you need right then and there. Alison, again, thank you. Appreciate you.
Thank you. Good game. Good game.
Yeah, right there. Double. You know, you want to enjoy. You got the game ball. Game ball
go to Ali.
I might average 1 point per game.
It was the most important point of the game.
The most important point each game.
I'm averaging like 30. I'm averaging a triple double on Off the Strip, so we're all good.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah, we good.
A triple double. Triple double off the strip. Thank you, Melissa. Thank you, Janelle. Thank you, Mother P. Who else? Who else was on my JR? O'Neal, thank you. Yo, your cousin be honest. Your cousin be honest, bro. Honest. Thank you all.
Yeah, appreciate you. So Giselle, we're gonna let you go. And then we're gonna go ahead and tap out. But again, we appreciate you. We're gonna definitely show you some love. I'm gonna send you the link to the podcast, audio and visual. They're gonna be able to watch on YouTube, Facebook, and all audio platforms. So I'll get you information. But thanks again for coming on.
All right, I appreciate it. Thanks, y'all.
Love you. I'll holler at you later.
Love you, Fudge.
All righty, bye-bye. Hey.
Good game, Coach. I mean, good game, Kyle.
Hey, yet again. Hold on, let me. This is where it was at. Alison, don't go anywhere. We gonna post pod production. I gotta switch the banner. Hey, Good game there, man.
Good
Hey,
game. It was solid.
appreciate everyone for tapping in. We kept y'all a little longer this week, but it was well worth it, man. We gonna get up out of here. Hey, yo, if you're not P Valley, you heard about P Valley?
No. Oh, the show?
The show.
Is valid? I should catch it?
Hey, tap
Catch
in.
it? Tap, all right.
If you tapping into this podcast, you gotta tap into P Valley.
I be seeing it, and I scroll right past it every time. I seen it on Twitter a couple times.
It's a wild show, but you got it. The storyline is wicked. The storyline.
I bet. I'm gonna tap. I'm gonna
Valley,
definitely.
I'm gonna finish up the shot tonight. I mean, the shot we don't found homegirl, so it is what it is. But yo, good show. Allison was 100. Fudge, we rocking. Like I think it's like we vibe off the live, bro. Like
Yeah, it's a solid move.
it was just a different type of energy, bro. Like I'm loving this, man. Like COVID is a gift and a curse, bro. Like
Yeah, it's depending on how you use it. Like if you use COVID, you could have leveled up. If you use COVID, you could have been in depression and it kicked you back. It's up to whoever want to make a change with the COVID. I'm going with the level up.
to do with it, man. Like Melissa, one more time, man. Shout out.
Of course, Melissa's love.
Yeah, bro. Like that's
Melissa the reason.
Yeah, like we got on that show and was like, nah, we could do this, yo.
Mm-hmm.
We can make this work, man. So, shout out to everybody that's watching. We're gonna get up out of here. We had $140. This is the Sports Podcast. It'll be available audio wise starting tomorrow. I'm gonna try and get up early tomorrow and knock it out. If not, it is what it is. But yo, Futch, shout out to you, bro. Appreciate you, man.
Good work, brother.
Yeah, man. Hey, we out of here. Yes, baby.
Peace. OTS.